everyone, welcome back to another epic DNS video where today we're learning how to crimp LAN cables and configure them. This is going to be part of a series we're going to be doing on internet and Wi-Fi and all those different things. So my guest here is Clinton. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm very fine. Thank you for invitation on your channel. Thank you very much.
So he's going to be in some of our videos for this series. So I hope you like this series. This is first of many. So please leave a like and subscribe to our channel. So before we start, let's sanitize our hands because of what's been going around.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So do you have any questions about this?
Yeah, I have many questions about these things are on the table. Yeah, I can see a router, a cable tester, and a crimp. So tell me about them.
So there's a crimper.
Yeah.
So this is what's going to be doing most of our work.
Yeah.
It's going to be cutting the cables, it's going to be crimping them, it's going to be doing most of the things. And then we have our RJ45s. Just zoom in on them.
Can I see them?
Yeah, you can see them. So that's how the RJ45s looks like. They connect into our router or our computer. So, and we have our cable tester. That's over here. So what we'll be doing with the cable tester is testing the cables. It also needs a battery, and we also have our router just for design. So any other question? Oh, and before we forget, there's also this, which is just in case you have a mistake, like your cable is cut weirdly or there's a problem, you use this to like snip it out, or you can twist, or because it's sharper than this but it's smaller, and we'll be using this more. So if you don't have this, it's not a big problem, but if you made a mistake, you may need to use scissors, but this is recommended. So any other questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Tell us more about this wire.
So it's a LAN cable. It stands for local area network. There's wide LAN cable, which does not have anything to do with this video. We'll get into that later in this series, not in this video. So we'll be using this cable because the cable we're using today, we won't be using the whole cable. Looks like this. So we'll be configuring this one, and there's a specific way you're supposed to configure it because there's small wires that are supposed to be in order. So we'll be using this because we're not going to be doing both sides. So we'll be using this to use with our cable tester just to see that it actually works. If you don't, when I was starting, it was really hard for me. So you may, if it's new to you, or you just come here to look at the configuration and the way it goes, the order, you may need many tries at it because sometimes the wires bend and they just scatter all over the place. So so we can start now.
Yeah, let's start.
So what we'll need to do first, we'll take our crimper and we'll snip. When you look at it facing towards you, there's a hole at the bottom which you will be putting your wire through so you can trim it. This is a CAT.6, category 6. This is a category 5. There are many categories depending on the size and speeds. So you don't do it completely, so you don't snip the wire. This wire is a bit small, so it will be hard for me, so I have to hold it like that and I spin. Make sure it's a big amount. So category 6 is used for outdoor, and there are many different categories that do their part. Like there are some that go under the sea, underground, on walls, on skyscrapers that are 500 meters above. So here are how the wires look like. When they're manufactured, they're tied together so that they don't get spoiled, so that they have more protection. So once you're done unwiring, untangling actually all of them. So once you're done untangling all of the wires, make sure to put them down. You can do this before untangling, it doesn't really matter. So you take your tool and you have to snip off. Make sure not to snip off any other wires. You have to snip off the plus in the middle. It's kept there to create more space and to protect the wires and make them not move that much. So you can use this to make it even shorter. Just make sure not to cut the wires. So we are doing straight cable today. There is crossover in straight cable. You can do whatever, but in this video we're doing straight. The difference is that the green one is replaced with the orange one. We're doing straight, and straight is the one that it starts with green stripe and green. So what you can watch another video about crossover cables. So popping right now up on your screen, like in a few, will show you how to configure these cables. It's a diagram of in order, and they should be straight. So popping right now up on your screen will be that. So once you've cut your wires and once you've arranged your wires, you prepare to cut them. Do you have any questions so far, Clinton?
Before you cut them,
yeah,
how do you arrange these wires in order?
So you're supposed to, once you've arranged them in order, like after every 2 or 3, you start to bend. You start to bend the wires.
They have to be straight.
Yeah, so they can be straight. Pull them. So once you've done arranging your wires, you can now start doing the process of crimping. So once you're done arranging your wires, you can now put your RJ45 and start doing the crimping process. But before we continue, do you have any questions so far?
Yeah, I have a question. How do you arrange these wires in order?
So, if you're doing from left to right, you'll start with brown.
Oh, brown.
It's depending on how you're looking at it. You can look at it upside down. So if you're going from left to right, you can it's brown, like brown, and then striped brown or white brown.
Yeah.
Then there is orange, and then white blue, then blue, then white orange, then green, then white green. So if you look at it from right to left, it's just the opposite. Green starts, white starts, and brown finishes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So to crimp, to measure how much you'll need, you will come and look at it like this. They will not be in order. This one isn't in order. It's just a demonstration. So make sure some of the orange or the color of your cover is inside. Just don't put all the wires inside, because it can slip out, or if it's like an outdoor cable, it will get cut maybe by the wind, or maybe it's raining, it will seep in, and then you'll be wondering, why is there no internet? Because you've not covered the whole thing completely.
Yeah.
So make sure to put this and put some of the orange in. So once you have marked the area, so mine is over here. Mine is over here. So we take our crimping tool and make sure they're straight. Make sure they're not bent, and make sure that they're just completely straight and nothing has happened to them. So the tool the side you're going to use, if you look at it like this, if you look at the tool like this,
there are two sides.
There are two sides. There's this side and there's this side. There's the side where this razor is going to hit the wall, so you're going to use that.
Yeah.
The opposite side of where you remove the cover. So once you've marked your area, you put them in. Make sure they're completely straight. Then proceed to cut them.
They must be accurate.
Yeah, they must be completely accurate. Okay, so
it is ready.
They must be straight, and it's ready. So if the brown is on the left side, then that means you put this clip up. If you can see the clip should be up. So
it should face upwards.
Yeah, the clip should face upwards. So you just slide it in. Make sure it's all in, even the orange, because we've measured. They're all in. So
can I look at it?
Yeah.
Oh, it is okay.
So make sure, because some of the wires will just be left behind. So if that happens, you may have to do this process again. So just try your best to avoid that. It mostly happens with category 6 wires, because category 5s, they don't have those many problems, but category 6 and upwards, it will get harder progressively. So you take your crimping tool. So there are two slots. There's the upper one, or depending on how your crimper looks like. Mine has an upper one and a lower one. The upper one is for RJ45s. They're the bigger ones that are like this. So then the lower one is for RJ11s.
Yeah.
It's for smaller ones. They look smaller and they're just smaller, and they use smaller wires. So you take your RJ45 and your wire, make sure you hold it here. Make sure you hold it here so that it doesn't slip out. And then you look at, there should be writings over here. If you're using something like this.
Yeah, I can see 8P and 6P. Yeah.
Yeah. So you take your wire and you slot it in. Make sure it's completely in. If it just doesn't, if it refuses to go in, maybe you're using this side because there's a stopper, so it just doesn't go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you're supposed to crimp it with all your might, like until it makes a huge snap.
It can't break, man.
It doesn't break.
Oh.
Well, it has broken. it's just a small place where it just compresses the wires completely. So once you've done that and it's able to retract, now you can push it out, and there you go, your wire is done. So
yeah, let me look at it. Yeah, they just look the same like these ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before you've done all these processes of crimping
yeah,
and cutting and removing this, make sure you've measured, because maybe you're doing it like your sitting room is downstairs and your router is downstairs, and maybe your house is too big and your router can't get everything.
Yeah.
So maybe one router is downstairs and you want to configure one upstairs. But if you don't want to like pay another $3,000 for something that you can connect and you can combine, you can use a cable and connect both of the routers. So you can have a main one downstairs and then something upstairs, a sub main one like in like a bedroom or in a corridor. So you must measure, you have to remember the measurements, and then do at least an extra 2 or 3 meters, because sometimes you can be making mistakes, like if all your wires haven't gone in, you have to start again. So you'll have to keep on making it shorter because you can't make it longer.
So you must be accurate.
Yeah, you must be accurate, and then you add like a bit, like 2 or 1 meter, maybe 1.5, like, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So since this cable isn't configured, because it's a really long cable, it's coming here, since we've not done the other side, let's get into testing the cables.
Oh yeah.
Make sure to get a business that you trust, because these cable testers, they get spoiled really quick. So if you're looking for ones, just get a business that you trust. So let's, before we use it, let's take a quick look at this.
Yeah.
So we have a remote that can come out, just in case you've done like 200 meters, so this can't be like connected. So you can go to the other place and you connect it to the other place.
Oh yeah.
And you connect this. So you put one over here. If it's short like this, you can use here. So there is, remember about the RJ12? I mean the RJ11? Yeah. So they have 6 slots, and the RJ45 have 8 slots, 8 wires. RJ11 6 wires. So if it's long, you remove this. If it's short, it's your choice, you can do this. Let me just put it. So for it to work, all of them should come on individually. Maybe all of them are coming on here.
Yeah.
But all of them are not coming on here. That means the wire, one or 2 wires, depending on how many have not come on, are missing. Maybe they're too short, maybe they've been left behind, maybe they've been cut, or maybe you've just forgotten to configure it. So what we'll do now is we connect one side